Mihena kia tātou katoa, hei timatanga i tā tātou wāhanga wānanga, kia timata i te karakia. Nō reira, kia hihiri ake tātou, mānawa mai e te rangi e tū nei, mānawa mai e te papai raro nei, mānawa mai e ngā mākuru o te rangi o te whenua, tō manawa ko tōku manawa ka whakairi ake ki runga kia tēnā, haumi e, hui e, tāi ki e. Nau mai, rarau mai, whakatata mai, whakarongorongo, taringa rahi. Nōku i te hokianga, whakapau karakia, ko ngā tai o mihi, kia koutou i runga i ngā tōpito o te motu. Welcome once, welcome twice, welcome three times, e mihina kia tātou katoa. Ko ai tēnei, ko riripiti tōku ingoa, he uri hau no roto mai o muri whenua, te tai toke rau pau. Nō reira, e whakamānau ana, ngā reo, karangaranga ki runga i a koutou katoa. I'll be your host for this morning, hosting today on behalf of Practice Foundation. We also have our team, Kelly and Lee, our hāpaiō that are in the background working their magic. So if you have any questions, any issues or concerns, feel free to reach out to them both. We also have a part of our team, Jackie Chan, has joined the Practice Foundation team and will be doing the illustrations for our 2025 series. Jackie will share the start of the illustration at the end of the session. She'll also show the full illustration and then it'll be shared online in 2 weeks. So Jackie is our illustrator. Tēnā rā koe, Jackie. What we have today. So our purpose of Practice Foundation is to provide a space for those that are working in the public sector who are working in complex environments to come together with our like-minded people. We'd like to acknowledge that this is a difficult time for many, and if we would like to encourage and support everyone to take good care of themselves and each other as much as they can. We hope that coming together will be a good session for us all, and it's restorative. Kelly, as I mentioned before, Kelly's in the background doing all the nitty-gritty stuff alongside Lee, putting us all into breakout groups where necessary. So mihina kia kouroua tahi, Kelly, Lee. We also just want to let everyone know that we won't be allowing any bots, AI bots, like Read AI, to attend these sessions. This is in order to keep everyone safe and a safe place for people to connect. And if you're unable to attend, most of our sessions are recorded and can be watched online. So mihina ki ngā tauhou, those that are new, those that have been here every month, a part of our wānanga series, mihina kia koutou katoa. What the rhythm looks like for today and the purpose is our wānanga is focused on how we can make the most of economic levers to support whānau and community well-being. So today we'll have kōrero, our kai kōrero, Missy Armstrong, buyer manager at Amotai, in conversation with Angie Tangaire, helping us explore the links between cultural, social and economic outcomes. So Missy will highlight the practical, real-world examples of how Māori and Pacific businesses are creating impact. And together we will look at how to better support or spot these opportunities in our mahi, using to use them and unlock prosperity on the ground. So today, together for the next 90 minutes, we'll have our whakawhanaunga part within small breakout groups. Then we'll hear a conversation between Missy and Angie, and then go back into breakout groups for some reflection time, and then come back together for a whole group kōrero. So for our first part of our whakawhanaunga session is I'll get you all, so you'll go into a breakout group for the next 10 minutes. We have a few partai, which is introduce yourself. So just introduce your name and so on. And then we've got this partai that'll hopefully generate some conversation amongst yourselves. And the partai is, how have you seen economic development support positive outcomes for whānau? Ka pai? So that's our partai. Kelly and Lee will put you into your breakout groups. Again, the partai is, how have you seen economic development support positive outcomes for whānau? That partai will be put into the chat forum for everyone to then see. We'll now go into the breakout groups. Tēnā rā tātou katoa. Tēnā rā tātou, nau mai, hoki mai, ki tā tātou wahanga. I'm going to give everyone time, so we're going to wait for everyone to return. We're going to take a few minutes to drop down any thoughts or reflections into the chat from your breakout session. And in the meantime, we're just going to play some music in the background whilst everyone does that. So we'll give everyone some time. Start typing in some stuff in the chat forum, some highlights in the kōrero or things that you've got any pātai regarding the kōrero or want to share. Jot that down in the chat forum. Ka pai, o tēnā tātou. Hei koke whakamua pē i tā tātou wānanga i te ata nei. We're now going to move on to the next part. Thank yous to those who have added in some comments in the chat forum. I'm going to now introduce our manuhiri for today. We have Missy Armstrong. He ngā puhi, he Ngāti Hau, he Ngāti Kaharau, he Ngāti Tahu, he Ngāti Whaoa. Born and raised in Rotorua, Missy has a strong business background, having worked in senior management roles across the corporate sector. Over the past 15 years, Missy has served as a trustee on various Māori businesses, networks, and more recently helped to establish Whāriki Te Taitokero in partnership with Whāriki Tāmaki Makaurau. We also have to help with the kōrero, we have another manu, Ahi Tere Tere, which is Angie Tangaire, who was born in Papakura, raised in the South Auckland with the whakapapa to Ngāti Porou on her father's side and Pākehā with connections to Taranaki on her mother's side. Angie is the kaitohu tangata whenua at Auckland Co-Design. Ka karawhia ka tukuna te rākau kōrero ki wera tokorua hei kinaki aki wa tātou kōrero i te rangi nei. Tēnā kaurua, Angie rāua ko Missy.
Kia ora, riri a tuatahi he mihi nui ki a koe mo te karakia. Me te mihi o te ata e hoa, ki a tātou e hui mai nei I runga te kaupapa, tēnā tātou katoa. Ai, ko Angie awau, no te taira whiti ko awau te kaitohu tangata whenua I roto I te whānau Auckland Co-Design Lab. Firstly, thank you so much, Riri, for the opening, and thank you to everybody who's taken the time to join us today. I'm Angie, and today I'm going to do my best to channel Mihi Ngārangi Forbes because I get to ask Missy some questions. Before I do that, I just want to say, I just want to mihi to the Amotai crew. I know I saw AJ was online and the rest of the crew that's online today. If you don't know about Amotai, I really encourage you to do some reading, and we can pop some resources in some links for you. But if you don't know, Amotai is doing an incredible job supporting Māori and Pacifica businesses and growing our Indigenous economy, and they're doing it two ways. Firstly, they're reconfiguring system levers to create demand for Māori and Pacifica businesses. And secondly, they're supporting the collectivisation of Māori and Pacifica businesses for supply. So they're working at a systems level, demand and supply, and to do one of those things is hard, but these guys are doing both of those things at the same time. So they truly are world leading in Aotearoa. So ngā mihi nui ki a koutou te whānau Amotai mo tō mahi tuturu. He mahi tuturu. But now we're going to go to the star of the show, Missy, and I'm going to ask the first question, which is, why does the economy matter when thinking about whānau well-being, and how does this relate to whānau outcomes? Over to you, Missy.
Morena koutou. Morena, Angie, ngā mihi I tō introduction I tēnei ata. And Riri, what a beautiful job you're doing there, opening our session and getting the kōrero started. So thank you for having me today. It's a real privilege to be able to share the Amotai kaupapa, the movement with this rōpū here, and just acknowledging the incredible mahi that you are all doing in your various roles around the motu. So why does the economy matter? I mean, the economy helps shape the choices that whānau can make. When whānau have income, stable work and opportunities, they can thrive on their own terms. Mana motu hake. It's the word economy can put a lot of whānau off. They think it's just about big banks or big businesses, but it actually shows up in our everyday lives. If we want to shift whānau outcomes, we have to shift the systems that determine access to income, to opportunities and to decision making. Within my roles, I've been in this Māori business space for 15 years, working with our businesses, understanding the struggles that they've been through when things happen in life. COVID, the GFC, that really impacts our business owners, our communities, our wahine, our whānau. And so when we have these opportunities to change this through business, through allowing our businesses to participate because they are just as good and they have value to bring to the economy, that's our role. When whānau are economically empowered, then they're more able to make decisions and choices that reflect their values. They care for others, they contribute to their communities in mana enhancing ways. And I see that every day, how economic exclusion feeds into poor social outcomes. If we haven't got that income and stability within employment in our communities, that doesn't allow us to participate in making change. So yeah, the economy basically, it shapes the choices whānau can make. When whānau have income, stable work and opportunities, they can thrive on their own terms.
Well, kia ora, Missy. Thank you for that kōrero. And can you tell us about why social procurement is important?
Yeah, well, from our experience, social procurement and evidence, social procurement is one of the most powerful levers government and corporates have to redistribute wealth and tackle structural inequities. It's not just about buying things, it's about choosing who we buy from and why. For decades, Māori and Pacifica businesses have been excluded from major procurement opportunities, not because of the lack of capability, but because of the closed networks or the legacy systems, the bias risk frameworks, the understanding of how to even get their foot in the door or a seat at the table. By us, with Amotai, we work with our members, our corporate government buyer members who are committed to making that change and intentionally looking at ways to redirect their pūtea, their spend with Māori and Pacifica businesses. And by doing that, we're addressing that exclusion while generating the outcomes, jobs, income, and local investment and enterprise growth. So yeah, I think social procurement helps us to make sure public money goes to underrepresented groups, Māori and Pacifica businesses, communities, and whānau is what our ultimate aim is within Amotai.
This isn't one of the questions, Missy, but I just noticed in some of the comments, some of the whānau were saying they're new to economic development. So that was a great explanation of why it's important. Could you just say a little bit about what it is for the whānau that might not know what does it look like?
So for us within Amotai, economic development is trying to use our businesses, our relationships to be able to create opportunities, unlock opportunities for Māori and Pacifica to be able to participate. That participation, that comes through not just the businesses, our Māori Pacifica owned businesses, but it flows into who they employ. We know that of our 2,500 businesses that Amotai has registered on our directory, that they employ 23,000 FTEs. Of that, 67% of those FTEs are Māori Pacifica. We know that they're investing into the growth and development of the employees. They're the ones that are able to get them out of bed, get them to work. They understand the cultural values when it comes to having them employed by them. They're not just staff, they're whānau. So if we can build that thriving economy within our own communities, and we are the champions of this, if we can normalise what business looks like in our communities, our kids, intergenerationally, we can show to our children that it is Māori, it is Pasifika, brown people that are pulling up and leading these big projects or small projects. It's just us being able to determine how we deliver, how we work, and how we are inclusive of our communities and give back in ways that we value.
Oh, kia ora, Missy. And so social procurement is a way of, as a part of that, Missy, is that about large institutions like Auckland Council using their purchasing power in an equitable way so that Māori and Pasifika businesses have an opportunity to tender for contracts that might not usually go to the smaller businesses? Is that what social procurement is?
Absolutely, yeah, you nailed it. It's a way of changing, how government agencies, corporates, councils, it's about changing the way they spend their money. They're already going to spend it. So it's a way of changing the way they spend their money to create better outcomes for our communities. It's around how they spend it to create those local jobs, skills and development, and whānau wealth. Instead of money flowing out of the communities, it stays in those communities.
So yeah, it's a very, very powerful systems lever, isn't it, Missy?
Yeah, because they're already spending it. We're not asking for any handouts. We're just asking them to think about the way it's conscious consumerism, my teenagers say to me.
Kia ora. And let's move on to the third question. I think you might want to share some slides with us, Missy. Who's Amotai and what is your vision?
So Amotai is a tiny but powerful team. Ngā mihi to my hoa mahi that are online today. Please reach out to any of us at any time. So there's only, I think we've got 15 in our team now, and we work across the motu. We have buyer relationship managers, which is, I'm one of those, and I work on the buyer end. So for 15 years, I've been working with businesses. So my role has been to, around the country with Whāraki Te Tai Tukaro, I provide the networking events, capability uplift for our businesses, introductions, well-being for our businesses. Whāraki, Pacific Business Trust, there's lots of networks around the country that provide the environment for our people to be able to get together and talk business or talk well-being. It's tough because when you're an employer, a Māori Pasifika business, when you're an employer, you have that responsibility of not just your kaimahi, but of the whānau that they are feeding each day. And so I feel for our businesses, we have a heavier weight lift on our shoulders. So Amotai, we work with the buyer members, the corporates, government to unlock their spend within their organisations, and then we connect them to our Māori Pasifika businesses who are minimum 50% owned. I'm going to share, to better explain who Amotai is, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to introduce some of the businesses. This is my why, why I'm here, what makes a difference. And, sorry, I should have. Share. Yes. Is that good? Awesome. Okay, I'd like to introduce one of our businesses. This is Trowel Group. Trowel Group has repurposed thousands of tonnes of materials, including over 500 tonnes from major Auckland Council projects. They've employed over 1,000 people, including the 50 jobs created for local youth, and provided valuable materials to community projects in New Zealand and across the Pacific. So these guys, it is the difference that they're wanting to make is environmentally stopping landfill, filling our landfill. They're repurposing the materials, but also the employment outcomes that they've created through the jobs they've secured through Auckland Council has made a massive difference for their communities. Over 1,000 jobs created through Trail Group. This is another one of our businesses, Highview Builders. They're based down in Invercargill. Through an introduction with Amotai, we were able to get them a contract with Ministry of Education at New River Primary School. For them, one of them said it was around their children who are at the school, seeing Māori business owners pulling up and doing the work at their school. That changed for them to be able to show their Māori students at their primary school that their dad is working on the tools, that their dad is leading the business. That makes a difference. This is Nikki from Tapu Tapu. For her, being able to work, she's based in Gizzy, studying Toi Māori, and for her, it's her being able to do meaningful work that reaches whānau and clients across Aotearoa. Seeing our work in kaupapa Māori spaces and knowing it resonates with people is something that lights her up. She's an incredible wahine that is based down in Gizzy and has a young family. And so for her to be able to thrive in business and share something she's really passionate about. This is Jade. Her why is because she wanted to make the world a better place through flooring and forcing the big boys to use sustainable fibres. These businesses, they've all got their own different why of why they're in business, and Amotai is just here to provide a foot in the door sometimes, an introduction, help them to understand how does procurement work? Where do I even start looking for contracts and find them the support that they need to participate? I mentioned before, so Amotai in numbers, over 2,500 verified Māori and Pacifica businesses are registered with Amotai. We have a minimum 50% shareholding required to register with us because we want our people to be the decision makers of their business, minimum 50%. We have 178 buyer organisations that are paying for the services of Amotai because they genuinely believe in supply diversity and making a difference through their spend. They are coming to us for solutions to unlock procurement spend within their organisations. 437 million contracts were awarded to Amotai suppliers in FY24. That's huge. And of that, we've had almost 40,000 connections between our buyer members and our Amotai businesses that are on our platform. So our platform of suppliers, it's just a tool that we use to share. Because often we have our buyer members will say to us, I don't even know where to find a Māori Pacifica business. So we will help them through our platform. Of course, we're trying to encourage them, go to local iwi, they have directories, there's networks, there's others that have directories, but Amotai has this verified tool and we've got a massive team that works really hard to ensure the integrity behind our data. And why? You know, the aim of supply diversity is to level the playing field for Māori and Pacifica to participate in procurement. Some need support to understand the systems, or some need it to position their businesses through health and safety, insurance, and some just want to understand how to find that pipeline and access to markets. Supply diversity is Amotai. This is our whole goal, is just to create a more equitable, inclusive Aotearoa. Ka pai. I'll stop sharing now.
Tēnā koe, Missy. Tēnā koe, Angie. Kia ora. Ka pai. So have you got any other whātai, Angie? Ka hore?
Aye.
Okay, you carry on.
Well, You've already described the benefits of a social procurement approach. So investing locally means that investment circulates locally, and some wonderful benefits to investing in businesses that have an environmental or rangatahi outcome approach as well. So there's a whole heap of things that are achieved through those businesses. Can you tell us what the other benefits of investing in Māori and Pacific businesses are?
Yeah. Māori Pacifica businesses don't exist just to make money. It's always that they're thinking intergenerationally. They're thinking around mana motuhake, around being able to return to their whenua, to work from their whenua. They're wanting to support, their local communities. If they can win these contracts, they can provide those jobs and outcomes for their communities, give back to their marae, their church, their communities. When one of our businesses has a chance through a contract or referral relationship, they are looking at those long-term sustainable plans that can cause a ripple effect, the multiplier effect. Because if they, even for some of our larger businesses, once they're in there, they know that they're going to use their community as subcontractors. And then those subcontractors will use their community as employment. So that ripple effect through our businesses being able to secure work is just incredible through all communities.
Awesome. So there's definitely a circular economy, a localized circular economy effect. And I think I heard in some of the latest research that the Māori and Pacifica businesses are more likely to pay a higher wage to their kaimahi than perhaps mainstream. Is that right, Missy?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, Amokai has been doing our DM, Anna Jane Edwards, who's also one of the founders, for those who haven't met Anna yet, one of the founders of the supply diversity movement, alongside Tanya Pofare. That we've been doing some research with Auckland University recently around some of those outcomes. Why Māori, what makes Māori business different? And it is around that, it's that social responsibility we have to our kaimahi, to our communities. So they do pay, they invest in their kaimahi, they are looking at ways of growing them. It's just even those basic things that, some take for granted, being able to understand that when there's tangihanga on, those cultural values are so important, not only to provide them space to go grieve, but to koha from your organisation to support whānau when they're going through tough times. So it is that pastoral care, that wraparound care that Māori Pacifica businesses provide above and beyond others that maybe some others that create employment.
And one last question, Riri. One last question for you, Missy. What are you learning about economic levers to support whānau and community wellbeing?
Gosh, I think it's really, we're making a difference. It's a slow movement. Amokai has been going for 7 years, nationally for 5 years. Australia's been on this movement for the last 15 years, but this started back in the 1960s in the US, and it was a way of creating change for underrepresented groups to be able to participate in procurement. What I'm seeing in New Zealand, ours is still new, but I am seeing a huge shift particularly from our corporates and Auckland Council itself. Auckland Council have been incredible to Amokai, and we couldn't have done it without their support. They've been the ones within all the different departments within councils that are really looking at how they can change the spend, how they can create opportunities through panels, It might be through creating a Māori Pacifica panel for us to be able to put our businesses in to a safe position where they can participate at a level that is going to ensure growth and sustainability of their business, not just throw them into a contract that's above their head. So what I'm seeing is that our buyer members are using the tools, techniques and experience that Amotai is sharing to create change through their spend, through their organisations. And they're creating really cool communities of practice within their own organisations to really challenge one another in how they're going to do different. Whether it's unlocking from a catering contract, office stationery contract, to their web development or their travel spend. There's so much opportunity. It's just requiring these corporates, agencies to do something different, give us, see the value that we're bringing. We're not a niche organised. Māori Pacifica businesses aren't niche. They're awesome. They bring so much culture, innovation, commitment, values to any organisation that they get to work with, and they have the power to grow.
Oh, kia ora. Ai, tapu ana koutou. Thanks, Missy. And how about a shout out for Auckland Council? We don't get them very often, so we'll take that one. Good work for all of the people in Auckland Council that are supporting Amotai. But I think we'll hand the rako back to Riri now, and I think the whānau's going into a breakout group. But thank you so much, Missy. Don't worry, te whānau. Missy will come back after the break and you can ask you some questions and we can have a kōrero. Over to you, Riri. Kia ora.
Tēnā tātou mehena ki ngā kōrero ko horapa ki a tātou katoa. What we're going to do now is going to go into a breakout group. We're going to introduce some pātai. We're going to go into a breakout group of 4 to 5 people. Now the pātai are, what's one thing you can see that needs to shift within your mahi, for example, in funding decisions or mindsets to unlock more economic impacts for Māori and Pacific communities? I know that's a long-winded pātai. These are going to be dropped down into our chat forum so that you're all able to see it. And then the second pātai is, as a rōpū, is there a reflection you'd like to share back with everyone or pātai for kōrero or for the wider rōpū? So as you're discussing that first pātai, what's one thing you can see that needs to shift within your mahi? Example, funding decisions or mindsets to unlock more economic impacts for Māori and Pacific communities. That's going to be discussed as a group and then put back to together as a wānanga. Tēnā tātou. Nau mai hoki mai. So hoping everyone's jumping back in slowly. One more group to jump back on. Just hoping everyone managed to get the time to share some great kōrero amongst your groups. What we're going to do now is we're going to take a moment for you all to drop your thoughts, reflections on the pātai that we've just shared in our groups. And we're just going to play some more music whilst you all do that, whilst everyone reflects and adds those comments into the chat forum for us then to talk about. So I'll give you about 2 minutes for everyone to jot that down. The faster you do it, the faster we're going to get into wānanga.
Kia ora tātou. Some great comments and whakaaro in the chat there. I think we might have to get Missy back for a repeat, Missy. There's heaps in there, team. We'll try and talk to some of that before we wrap up in this session. But I just want to start with one question to Missy. What are some things that we can do daily to support Indigenous economic development?
Oh, yeah, I love all the questions coming through, and if I don't get to them now, I will somehow get them answered through after the session. What are some of the things you can do is, through these questions, start looking around at some of the other organisations. Amotai is one of the organisations that can provide support and change. That advocacy part, like I was saying, 20% of my role is the matchmaking, because there's an opportunity that's come through and the client wants us to introduce Māori Pacifica businesses to them. 80% of our role is around research, evidence, advocacy, embedding systems change within organisations. They're coming to us because they want to understand how can they do better, how can they change their spend habits and make a difference through their organisation. What is the social impact that they can make through some small changes around just providing opportunities, equitable platforms. So Amotai goes through and we will review, what does the onboarding look like? What are the size of your contracts? What are the terms of your contracts, payment of your contracts? So that, you know, we know that our businesses cannot sustain debt waiting for payments to come through. So what does that look like? So for this community, if you could look into your own organisation, how you spend your money, where are those small opportunities? And it might be through catering, might be through an event you've got coming up. How can you think differently about how you're going to spend the money? Can you change some of the suppliers that you normally use, ordinarily use, and help shape some of the platforms that will allow them to participate?
Oh, kia ora, Missy. One thing we were having a quick talk about in the break, wasn't it, Missy, was that so for some of us, we are not close to our procurement arms inside of our institutions or organisations. But what you were talking about during the break, Missy, was that some of the best opportunities haven't been necessarily around the actual procurement process, but introductions and networking that builds the social capital of the business, and opportunities are realised through that. Is that what you would say people could do also if they don't have access directly to a procurement process?
Yeah, introductions make all the difference. Sometimes that's all our businesses need, is an introduction to the right person within your organisation. Or it might be you saying to one of your suppliers that you use, hey, have you considered using this business? Or you might see, I mean, it's been little things. It might be you're walking in the office and there's graffiti on the wall. Hey, let's try Amotai, see if they've got a supplier. Might be it's using your influence. It's not just that spend, it is using your own connections, your influence, your relationships to introduce our businesses, to get our show the wealth of value that comes from using our Māori Pacifica communities and the social impact that change can make, that one change. It's a big thing for us is we're after building long-term relationships. It is not transactional. When we're working with our buyers, the one-off transaction might be a good thing for a small run, but long-term is what we're trying to change.
Kia ora. I think Paula's tautoko that whakaaro by saying, how can we think more expansively beyond our clients to include the role of retailers and suppliers in supporting positive Māori outcomes? So I think what Paula's, no, I won't say what I think Paula's saying, but what I read from that is there's an opportunity for us to think about not only our organisational supply chain, but other supply chains that we're connected to. So that's what you're talking about in terms of the networking, isn't it, Missy?
Absolutely. So, you know, we say we work with our 180 buyer members to embed good practice, make change and spend. We also need to be able to support one another. Conscious consumerism. How are you going to make a difference with where you buy your cup of coffee from? Is that going to support a local business? Where you're doing purchasing from makes all the difference. And how can you, when you're referring a business, try using somebody different that is local, because you know that local spend is going to go straight to the table of that local business.
Kia ora. So maybe not Temu i te whānau. I see there's a comment in about Temu, and that's an ongoing point of tension in my household with my rangatahi. But yeah, if you can spend your money locally, that would be awesome. Here's a question from Ricky Lee, and it talks to a little bit about what this actually takes. And you've talked to us about this, Missy. So these are great intentions, but what does it take to be doing this weaving? And Ricky Lee's question is, what does advocacy in mahi rangatira really take? So that weaving, that advocacy, what does it take from your perspective, Missy, for the mahi that you do?
Mahi we do within our team, in terms of advocacy, we're hot on MB's tail. We're constantly looking at what the government is doing and how can we influence them to set targets. That's a huge part. The progressive procurement policy still exists. If you ever hear it's been removed, it hasn't. The targets have been removed. There was an 8% target to spend for government agencies to spend with Māori businesses. That 8% has been removed, but the policy still remains. And what we're after is looking at organisations government being able to demonstrate the local economic benefit that they're being able to create in communities. So the advocacy is a big part of our role, and Anna is constantly presenting at various, hence the reason she handed the rākau to me today. She is at the table having those hard conversations. That's important. Us being able to shape procurement, embed procurement practices within organisations. And that comes from the evidence, international research that we've got available, and we provide those templates. Often they say, oh, it's too hard. We can provide templates to take away the hard. Sometimes it could be as easy as an Excel spreadsheet on how they're going to track that spend, either directly or indirectly with another organisation. And yeah, the matchmaking, there's support out there. It's just often it is knowing where to look, who to ask.
So one thing we can do today, Iti whānau, is if you didn't know about Amotai, and if you did know and already know about Amotai, then go out and talk about Amotai to everybody, to your organisation, to other retailers, to other organisations. Hey, did you know that there's this amazing supply diversity initiative, Amotai in Aotearoa, and raise the awareness about Amotai and these amazing businesses and all the amazing work that the Amotai team is doing. Now, I know that the Amotai team has a very, very busy schedule over the next few months, but I wonder, Missy, if you'll just chat to the whānau about the summit.
Yeah, so for those that are interested in learning more about this movement, about our kaupapa, we've got our annual Amotai Summit and Awards evening on the 26th of August in Auckland at Millennium Hotel. And in the summit, we have an incredible selection of international and local leaders that are there to teach us about how to create a more inclusive, equitable Aotearoa. And so we provide workshops on real tools and strategies and examples. Some of them are there sharing examples on how they're embedding best practice within their organisation, how they've been able to create change, or that pathway, that long-term pathway. They may be still at the starting blocks, but at least they've got a plan to move forward. And that's what we're after, is we want to see change. So it's on the 26th of August in Auckland. It's our annual Amotai Summit and Awards. You can go to our website, www.amotai.nz, go to the events page and purchase tickets through there. And of course, we'll be sharing as much as we can online through our platforms. So even if you could follow us on LinkedIn, the Amotai LinkedIn page would be great. We've got a Facebook page. So yeah, get on there and we can share some of the links to recordings or details of outcomes from that hui. Goodbye.
Thanks, Missy. And don't worry, team, we'll send out some links to you all. And that's one of many things that Amotai is doing in a little while, including a really exciting initiative around global Indigenous trade and economy. I'm hoping I can gate crash that hui if there's any chance. So thank you so much, Missy. It's been such a pleasure to have you on with us today. I know AJ's been on the line, Paul's there, Kelsey's there, I think Jeff was on the line too. To all the Amotai whānau, kia kahara, you're doing such amazing work. Thank you so much. I need to thank Riri now. She's had to catch a boat. She's doing some very important work up north. So I'm just going to do a little bit of the close out, and then I think Edwin is going to close with a karakia. So let's go to Jackie and see if we can have a little look at what Jackie's been working on, Jackie's magic, as the kōrero has been happening. Jackie's, oh, there's Jackie. Oh, wonderful.
Sorry about the delay, just trying to get it between my devices. Just started.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Thanks, Jackie. That's awesome.
You're welcome.
Ka pai. Thank you, Jackie. So just a big mahi to of course, Missy for her kōrero today, and to all of you for joining us. Thank you so much. And just a reminder that we have Niho Taniwha next Practice Foundation session. So if you'd like to learn about Niho Taniwha as a values-led set of practices that we're learning, evaluation through innovation processes, please join us next month. And I think I'm just going to check with Kelly. Is that all of the jobs done, Kelly? Ka pai. So thank you so much, Missy. Thank you so much to the whānau who have joined us today, and I will pass it over to Edwini to close. Kia ora.
Kia ora, everybody. Ka tautoko i ngā mihi kua mihia. Tēnā koe, Missy. Ka mihi atu ki tō whakapapa, ki te mātauranga. Me ngā taonga ko whariki hea mai koe ki mua i te maria i tēnei ata. Me tuku mihi anō hoki kia koutou, ngā ringa ngā waiwai o Amotai, ko Sarah tērā, ko Kelsey tērā, koutou katoa e takahi nei i tēnei ara, e whakapiki te kaha i roto i te hāpori, kia tipu, kia rea, kia watea. Tēnā tātou katoa. Tino pai o mahi Angie, o mahi ui i tēnei rā. He tino toa koe, mui nei mahi. Tēnā tātou. Ka whakakapi i tō tātou hui i tēnei ata i te karakia. Tīkina atu te Māori hihiri, tīkina atu te Māori hihiko. Ko te Māori i tohua mai ai, he pūkenga, he kōrero, he wānanga. Koia te tākere o te waka nui, koia te tākere o te waka ingo. Tēnei te waka kua tere ki tai, tēnei te waka kua pai ki uta. Ko te ue pū ka tū, ko te ue pū ka tau, tēnei te ue pū ka whakamaua, kia tīna, haumi e, hui e, ai ki e.